Well, viewers, thank you very much once again for joining me today. Today's session is about discovering yourself. Primarily, this is a very fundamental for everybody to know him or herself, meaning thereby discovering him or herself, because this is self-discovery is a journey, and this continues and continues and continues from cradle to the grave. And everybody needs to discover him or herself for a successful career to achieve his or her goals. And, if you see this slide, self-discovery means that you try to explore your inner landscape. What is inside you? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your emotional challenges? And what are your motivation? You try to understand while you're discovering yourself. And when you know everything about yourself and you have discovered yourself, it means that you have connected with your authentic selves. Your inside connections, they have been restored. And then you can have started understanding your life better as compared to anybody else who doesn't know, who is not aware of his strengths or weaknesses. So what should be the practical exercises and activities to aid, to help in self-discovery? The intellectuals, they have identified some of the parameters and some of the ways in which you can make your self-assessment. And the first point in this is mindful meditation, because that creates an awareness of your inner experience and yourself, and in which you try to understand and try to practice being present in the moment. You don't dream, but you try yourself sitting in a place, meditating in a place where there is no distraction, and you try to understand yourself. And that moment is very important for you because you're going to diagnose about yourself. And you try to observe your thoughts and emotions without making any judgment, because you are not judgmental for yourself, for your attitudes, for your approaches, for your personality, for your strengths and weaknesses. You discover yourself, but ultimately judgments, they are made by the others to whom would you interact, to stay with, your colleagues, your friends, your family, like that. Then another point is that journaling. And basically this journaling, that provides you insight into your patterns, desires, and challenges. And what would be the best assessment, that when you start meditating, you get a pen and a paper with you and start writing your thoughts, your feelings, and your reflections regularly. And if you try to make it a regular feature, maybe weekly, maybe fortnightly, maybe monthly, then you look back on your past, you look at your present, and try to imagine about your future and start writing about yourself. And that is a stage of, the first initial stages of discovery, because then there will be a written draft in your hands. You will be better in a position to analyze yourself. Then strength assessments, they are made on the identification of your core strengths. And if once you are able to identify your core strengths, that these strengths, they can guide to your choices and your actions. You start thinking that I have this strength, I'm a good in public speaking. That helps you making a choice that you may go for self-employment or go for a job in which there is public speaking involved. Likewise, there are many examples. Then grounding techniques. These grounding techniques, they help you focusing yourself on a particular target, focusing on a particular goal, achieving yourself to that step, to that elevated standard in which you want to see yourself based on your strengths. And that grounding, basically, these are the techniques, they need to be practiced, in which you get, with the passage of time, a whole training. You train your mind to focus on a particular issue. That is also an outcome of the meditation. Then observing others. This will define your personality. How do you observe others and how others look at you? Do they pay attention to how people react to you? You are talking to people. Are they attentive to you? Do they listen to you? Do they hear you? Or we can say that do they agree with this, that you're an opinion-making person or not? And then how do you respond to them? If there is someone saying something irritating about you, how do you react? How do you respond to him? That basically defines your character, your insight, your inner landscape of your personality. In that way, you're trying to discover yourself, and you can have notes for that. And what triggers your emotions? You know, there is a probing, there's a technique probing. Particularly if you see on media, the anchor person should try to provoke people. They try to give them a lead to speak on that. And they're very smart people. They're real salespeople. They try to provoke, and they try that their guests should come up onto their lines. What do they want that their guest speak? He or she should speak on that. And that is the technique, probing technique. Someone is probing you, and he is trying or she is trying to get something out of you, what you are. I do remember there was one of my friends and like my classmates. He was very introvert. He used to sit for hours and hours and hours and never try to interact with anybody else. And as a part of my habit, I often try to sit with him to understand him, that what is his problem. You know, one day he was so pissed off that he slapped on my face. But honestly speaking, when he slapped on my face, I was happy, but he started crying. It means that his emotions started coming out. And that helped me understand him, that what are his issues with him. And later on, he was one of my best friends. And we continued, and still we are very good friends. And that is something that you probe someone with a positive attitude to learn something about him or herself. Then there is a personal vision. Better you create a vision board based on your understanding where you're strong and where you're weak. And try to have a detailed description of your ideal life. What do you want? Where do you want to go? After 5 years, what do you want to see yourself in 5 years, and 10 years, and 15 years, and 20 years? What are your career goals? So if this stimulatory thinking goes on, ultimately you keep on discovering yourself. You keep on building on your strengths and try to train yourself to eliminate your weaknesses with the passage of time. And then self-affirmations. This is very important. Self-affirmations means that often you try to practice. I can do this. I'm enough for this. I can help out people. Please come on. Let us sit together and discuss. I want to help you out. And you feel within yourself that you're confident enough to deliver something to those who need. And that not only gives you a positive impression to your community, to your friend, your circles, your community, but also helps out you to build on your personal visions. And if you're having a lack of confidence, for example, in the long run, you will start learning and you will develop a confidence in that. Then reflect on imperfections. Nobody is perfect. And honestly, I feel that perfectionists, they tend to block themselves. Nobody is perfect. And better that you embrace your flaws and imperfections, your weaknesses. Try to get hold of them. Try to understand them because they make you unique and they make you understand learning from your flaws. That this is my weakness and I want to learn based on this weakness. I want to convert this weakness into strength. And believe me, you can do that. There is no issue at all. You can do that. Rest assured that you're blessed with so much brain power. If you have decided yourself to grow, you have decided that you're going to overcome that weakness. You can do that. There's no issue. Then, as earlier I said, that visualize your ideal self. Imagine the person you aspire to be. What you want. There must be some personality who impresses you. Maybe one of your ideals. He may be anybody. She may be anybody. He may be an anthropologist. He may be a politician. He may be a movie star. He may be a player. Try to idealize that person is my ideal and I want to reach to that level. Then try to look into his or her personality. What is his biography? What is her biography? What made him to achieve that? What were the strengths of, for example, Nelson Mandela? What are the strengths of Muhammad, peace be upon him? What are the strengths of the prophets? An example of patience, consistency. How they helped out a lot of people, and how they served the humanity. It makes you move that the technology you are using today that's because of someone who worked hard and you are talking to each other today. So try to imagine that someone is your ideal and you want to reach that place, and you can reach, no problem, because if that person can reach, why can't you? He or she was also a human being and you're also a human being. You can also do that. Then explore passions and interests. Engage in activities that ignite your curiosity. For example, I'm always very curious to visit a site, to rural setting. That's my weakness. I want to sit down looking at the galaxy of stars during night. I want to listen the beautiful speakings of the birds in the morning. I would love to be in a setting where I can be very organic, I can be very near to the nature to understand the God, the creatures of God. So if that is your liking, that is your curiosity, one day you will be more comfortable understanding nature and discovering yourself. Because once you start discovering 1, 2, 3, 4 in steps, that becomes exciting for you to explore yourself. I mean, these are some parameters. These are some parameters which you can try. For example, you can write with a pen and a pencil. Try to list the things which comfort you. Then write, are you good in decision making or are you shaky? And what is your recipes before making a decision? Do you give enough time to search something and to make a decision? Then what about your promise? Do you keep your promises? Then are you focused? Are you perfectionist? Or you want to go for excellence? What your internal side says. This is part of discovery. And once you start discovering yourself, you will come to know you're organized, you are good in communication, you're good in friends making, and all these criteria which you see here in this slide, all these criteria, they are required somewhere in your job description, somewhere in your life. For example, if you say customer service, this is a basic requirement for a person who wants to go for customer service. She or she should be friendly, smiling face, and these are your strengths. And if you talk of negativities, your guilt, your scaredness, your disappointments, your frustrations, your hopelessness, if you are introvert, you're not interactive, you cannot be a good customer service specialist. Likewise, you try to match your strengths with the job descriptions which you want to do. Try to match your inner landscape of your emotional landscape or the likings or disliking of strengths and weakness with your goals. And if your passion and your goals, they're aligned, you're one of the successful people. And this technology of understanding, that's advanced much more as compared to previous times. If you see, there's an analogy I give you for example, how powerful you are. You're so blessed. Computers? Who invented computers? The laptops, the mobile, and many, many other. The ocean of knowledge. That is all came to your doorstep because some people dreamed about that. It was not possible maybe 30 years back to going for such information communication technologies. There was no phone. I still remember in 1992, I came for postdoc in Ohio State University. I had never a phone connection with me except for on the landline. And today, what do I have? I do have this mobile. And this mobile is in the pocket of everybody. And power expresses itself. There's no need to market this because this technology is so strong that it disseminates itself. Now this is in the pocket of every laborer in the rural setting, in the urban setting, because they have selected their lives. So that is the human brain that created computers. And let us see what are the computer components. The main component of a computer is the CPU, Central Processing Unit. And Central Processing Unit, is your brain. If in human body is your brain. And your input devices in your laptop or in your computer, you type something with keyboard, that is your input device. And what you you get a printout at whatever you have written there. You speak and you start recording a song. And that is your input. And outcome from speaker, it comes out. This is your output. Likewise, this CPU of human being that's processing a lot of information. Let us see the power of brain. You see this column on the left is computer power, the world's most powerful supercomputer. of 2024 is named as Frontier, boasts a performance of 1.2 EXA flops. And flops, you know what is that? Flops, that is the floating point operations per second. 1.2 quintillion, many trillions, per second operations. And you see on the right side, human power. It is estimated that the brain's computational power is immense, with the ability to perform 1 quintillion operations per second. Are we doing that? Hardly 1% of the human brain we are using to process this information. And in human cases, your input device are your eyes. Oh my God. Your eyes start getting input. Your CPU, your brain starts translating this input into information that processes, and that makes your response as an output. So amazing, so amazing. Your ears, they are hearing something as an output of somebody. If somebody is speaking, you're hearing output coming into your ears. And your senses, smelling, taste, all the senses. Amazingly different. You know, you have trillions of billions of computers in the world, and you try to send a message to one person. How do these lines, these Wi-Fi's, how does this internet identifies that that message is going to ABC? Why not to Z? Because there is an IP address, internet protocol address. And you know, your brain, your everything is totally different. You are a unique person. And God has made everything unique. Why do you put biometrics? Why have you started using your eyes as your scanners while opening your WhatsApp or laptop? Because of different genetic makeup. This genetic makeup has added diversity to the human beings far, far, far better than anything else. And why not praises for Allah? Why not praises for God, who has created such a beautiful, and you know, these creations, every creation is unique. Under the oceans, on the mountains, in the plains, in the rivers, in the skies, all of them, they're unique. And you know, the brain's ability to process information is not just limited to logical reasoning. It also encompasses emotional responses, subconscious processing, and the integration of complex cognitive functions like creativity and intuition. You sleep at night, and things which have not been processed in your daytime, you start dreaming, you start hallucinating, and you start make calculations. This happened, this not happened. If this happened, what would happen? These calculations continues all the night, and you can't sleep. This is the unconscious processing of the input which you're getting from your observations through your eyes, from hearing your ears, and like that, like feelings. Therefore, try to discover yourself. Believe me, you are so powerful. You are so powerful that nothing is matching. No disappointments, no frustrations, no hopelessness, no restlessness. Try to learn. And this channel is for all of you who are willing to teach, who are willing to learn. All for teachers and for thoughts. Because no worship is better than knowledge sharing. Thank you very much. And the last, remember, self-discovery is an ongoing process. Be patient with yourself and allow space for growth and transformation. And what Aristotle said is, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Thank you very much. Stay blessed. Let us see in the next video clip soon.